I wanted to know just exactly how good the Cardinals were. The Rams were coming off probably their biggest win in a while, and that was against the Bucks. And you were playing at home, and you're playing against a team that's red hot, which is the Cardinals. And then on top of that, on the Cardinals side, the Cardinals had some really good wins. They've been destroying people, but I wanted to know how they would play against a team that's also hot. And what Sunday solidified for me is, I believe, at least at this point, Kyler Murray is the front runner for the MVP. And not just that, I think I can honestly say that the Cardinals may be Super Bowl contenders. And what makes a team a Super Bowl contender is if you're balanced. There's a lot of teams that we'll talk about that are not balanced, but are good teams, But because of that, in balance, I don't think that I'm not going to say they can't be Super Bowl contenders, but I don't think that they're above the rest, you know what I mean? Or I don't think that when we're talking about the Super Bowl conversation down the line, I don't know if they'll be in it because of how imbalanced their team is. The Cardinals is a different bag. For the longest, and we talked about this before, but for the longest, the Cardinals were only at one side of the ball. They were never really good defensively. Even the Kurt Warner days, and when Larry Fitzgerald was in his prime, they never really had like a great defense. They've had good defenses from here and there, but they never really had a great defense. And even last year, you had Chandler Jones, but he was coming out. He was injured. You had Budda Baker. You had Isaiah Simmons, but he was more of a raw talent at the time. They had names, but they didn't really have a good defense. Their defense lost them a lot of games. And that was the knock on the Cardinals for a while. Also, Kyler Murray's infrequent play. And when I say infrequent play, he looks incredible all the time, but there will be times where his recklessness will cause, a poor turnover late in the game, or he'll have a 3-4 turnover game. And you never really considered the Cardinals a Super Bowl team. They could be a dark horse team. People will say, oh, my dark horse is Arizona. But the reason why they were usually dark horses is because their defense would just fail them time and time again. Or Kyler Murray would have to do so much that it would put them in situations that they shouldn't be in. I say all that to say, this year, man, at least 4 weeks in, this Cardinals team is right now probably playing arguably the best football in the whole league. You have Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray he still does reckless things. There's some, when we talked about Carson Wentz a couple episodes ago, one thing that you probably, if there's a player that's been reckless for a while, it's more than likely you're not going to change that. That's just who they are. This in their DNA. Patrick Mahomes is a reckless player. Lamar Jackson is a reckless player. The thing about it is their greatness and their recklessness doesn't usually cost them games. With Carson Wentz, it does. Why do we bring that up? Kyler Murray is a reckless player. And there were times last year that it cost them games. Now, yeah, he might have a turnover here or there, but it's not costing them games. And the biggest revelation that I got is the Cardinals can beat you in many different ways. And that's one thing that has not been the case. The Cardinals, if how it's been is, if Kyler Murray is going to throw 1,000 times, he's going to run around, he's going to look good, he's going to throw a whole bunch of touchdowns, but the run game's not really going to be there, even though they had Kenyon Drake, but he's not there anymore. The run game's not going to be there. The defense is going to make you have to be in shootouts. It's just not going to work. Now, the Cardinals can beat you in many different ways. Now, the Cardinals beat the Rams 37-20. And it was a complete game from the Cardinals. And that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see, okay, now you're playing against a team that a lot of people feel could be in the Super Bowl. That is the Rams. You're playing against, they're red hot, coming out of probably their biggest win so far, of course, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Cardinals just came in and destroyed them. I know when you say they won by 17, it doesn't sound close, but the game was not that close. Matthew Stafford, I can say that it was because the Rams just had a bad game, but the Cardinals caused them to have a bad game. J.J. Watt, man. J.J. Watt has been incredible on the defensive side of the ball. Chandler Jones had another incredible game. Budda Baker has been great. Like, this team is firing all cylinders. And the funny thing is, and one of the biggest questions that I had going into the year with the Cardinals is Cliff Kingsbury actually a good coach? That was the conversation going around with the Cardinals, because the Cardinals had a very active offseason, and with the pieces that they got, they acquired A.J. Green, they acquired J.J. Watt, they acquired some pieces, James Conner from the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's like, was Cliff Kingsbury, because this is a good team, this is a good roster. It's like, is he good enough to be, is he considered a good coach? That is Cliff Kingsbury, and he's been phenomenal. What it is? He has built a system that is perfect for not only Kyler Murray, but perfect for a mobile quarterback. Or let me say this, perfect for the mobile quarterback that he has. And it's worked to perfection. But like I said on Sunday, or like I said about Sunday, the Cardinals can beat you in many different ways. They can beat you, and this is the first time I've seen that in a while. And that's why I think that they could be Super Bowl contending. They can be a Super Bowl caliber team, or they are a Super Bowl caliber team. First and foremost, they can beat you defensively, and that has never been said. Again, you're going against a red-hot Rams team, and you only hold them to 20 points. Cooper Kupp was probably, at least going into this week, the hottest wide receiver in the game, and he was minimized. Robert Woods was probably one of the best second options, I guess you could say, first or second, depending on what you think he is. Hell, the whole Rams offense was on fire. And the Cardinals came in and shut that down, on top of Kyler Murray just being incredible, getting A.J. Green involved. A.J. Green hasn't looked this good since probably, his first few years in the league before injuries really hit. And when I say they can beat you in many different ways, James Conner looks like he's just rejuvenated. He had, I think, 2 touchdowns. The Cardinals look good. And at least 4 weeks into the season, I wouldn't be surprised if you can put the Cardinals up against anybody, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won. That's how good the Cardinals have been playing, and that's why I say not only are they playing to me like the best team right now, but Kyler Murray is the MVP at least 4 weeks into the season. Now, of course, they don't crown MVPs 4 weeks into the season, but I do want to see, the growth, and I want to see this continue, because the Cardinals is a fun watch, man. Like, if you watch this team, it is fun. It's Kyler Murray will do something incredible that only Kyler Murray can do. It's fun. It's fun watching the matriculation of this team and watching it from where it's been to where it is now. So, congratulations to the Cardinals for beating the Rams 37-20. And out of that game, like I said, kind of solidified to me, at least right now, that Kyler Murray is the MVP of this, or at least right now is the MVP of the league. He's front runner in my opinion.